The country club brunch on Father's Day should have been a celebration. Crystal glasses clinked. White tablecloths glowed under chandeliers. And the scent of fresh flowers mixed with expensive cologne. But as I sat there in my simple blue button-down shirt and polished but worn shoes, I felt every eye on me when my daughter Lisa handed over the thin plastic bag from the dollar store. Inside were 2 pairs of basic black cotton socks. Price tag still dangling at $3.99. No wrapping, no ribbon, just tossed in like an afterthought. Her father-in-law, Richard, a successful real estate developer, had just unwrapped a gleaming Rolex Submariner worth over $3,800. Lisa stood behind his chair like a proud hostess, announcing how much the family appreciated him. The table erupted in applause. Richard strapped it on immediately, admiring how it caught the light. Then Lisa turned to me with that same bright smile and said loud enough for the whole room to hear, "Dad's more simple. He doesn't need fancy things." The word simple landed like a slap. My 8-year-old granddaughter Emily looked up from her coloring book, innocent eyes wide. "Mommy, why did Grandpa Bob get such a cheap present? Did we run out of money?" The silence that followed was deafening. Richard froze mid-admiration of his watch. My son-in-law Mark stared at his plate. Lisa's face flushed crimson as she stammered something about not making a big deal. But the damage was done. I felt something inside me crack, not my heart, which had already been broken years earlier, but the last thread of illusion that my only daughter still respected the man who had given her everything. I stood slowly, folded the socks back into the bag, and kissed Emily and her little brother Jake on their foreheads. "Thank you for the gift," I said quietly, my voice steady despite the storm inside. "And congratulations on the watch, Richard. It's beautiful." I walked out through the dining room, past the whispers and pitying glances, into the parking lot where my old, reliable truck waited between luxury SUVs. The drive home to my small apartment was silent. That night, staring at the cheap socks on my kitchen table, I knew it was time. Lisa would learn the cost of publicly disrespecting the father who had sacrificed everything for her. But to understand how we arrived at this breaking point, let me take you back. 3 years earlier, I was Robert Harlan, a 30-year veteran firefighter in suburban Chicago, 62 years old, still strong and proud. My wife Margaret had passed suddenly from a massive stroke 6 months prior. I was still raw from grief, learning to cook for one, sleeping on the side of the bed she used to occupy. Then the diagnosis hit. Stage 3 lung cancer, likely from years of smoke inhalation on the job despite protective gear. The words from the oncologist felt like a collapsing building, surgery, chemo, radiation, months of treatment ahead. Insurance covered part of it, but the out-of-pocket costs piled up fast. Hospital stays, experimental drugs, specialist consultations. My $280,000 401k from decades of service disappeared over 18 months. Every penny went into keeping me alive. I sold the modest 3-bedroom house Margaret and I had shared for 28 years. The one with the backyard where we'd watched our daughter grow up. I moved into a tiny 1-bedroom apartment with thin walls and a view of the parking lot, surviving on $1,900 monthly Social Security. Lisa seemed supportive at first. She drove me to chemo sessions, sat in waiting rooms holding my hand while nausea ripped through me, brought homemade soup, and promised, "We'll get through this together, Dad. Families sticks together." Those words kept me going when the pain made me question everything. I believed her. The grandkids, Emily and Jake, visited often those early months. Emily would curl up beside me reading picture books, her small hand on my arm. Jake pushed his toy fire trucks across my linoleum floor, making siren noises that reminded me of my old station house. Those moments made the sacrifices feel worthwhile. I thought my daughter understood the depth of what I'd given up. The house, the savings, the security Margaret and I had built together. But cracks began to show. Lisa started asking pointed questions during visits. Dad, are there any other accounts? Maybe something from the department you forgot about. She'd say it casually, concerned tone masking curiosity. Mark would shift uncomfortably and suggest they leave. Then came the suggestions for power of attorney documents. Just in case you get sick again.
Dad.
I could help manage things so nothing gets missed. The papers sat on my table untouched for weeks. My gut twisted every time I saw them. This wasn't protection. This felt like positioning for control. One Tuesday morning, the pension office called. Mr. Harlan, your daughter contacted us about your benefits. She asked about payout options and beneficiary details. My blood ran cold. I never authorized that. Never mentioned the pension specifics to her. The representative confirmed they gave no information but wanted me aware. That afternoon, Lisa arrived with the power of attorney forms again, smiling with feigned love. It's just a precaution. But I knew better. Something deeper was at work, and I wasn't ready to hand over my life. The lump sum pension option changed everything. At the pension office, the counselor, Mrs. Ramirez, pulled out my file after I requested full details. You've got choices,
Bob.
You're already on monthly payments. But with 30 years service, there's a lump sum election, about $750,000 if you act before 65. It's in the fine print. You can change beneficiaries anytime, too. The number stunned me, but I kept my face neutral. My current beneficiary was Lisa, set years ago when trust was absolute. Mrs. Ramirez explained the process for changes. I left with racing thoughts. Lisa's inquiries suddenly made sense. She'd been researching, probing for hidden assets, planning ahead. That same week, my oncologist Dr. Patel looked uneasy during a checkup.
Bob.
Did you authorize your daughter to access your records? She called, claiming medical proxy status, asking about prognosis and life expectancy. I hadn't. Lisa had lied to get details, even suggesting I was confused or declining mentally. Dr. Patel documented everything at my request, no releases without proper authorization. The room spun as I realized the extent. My daughter was building a narrative of incompetence to gain control. That weekend babysitting Emily and Jake, the truth hit harder. Emily looked up from coloring. Grandpa, are you going to heaven soon like Grandma Margaret? Mommy said you're really sick and we should be extra nice. Jake nodded solemnly. Mommy says you might not be here much longer. My heart shattered and ignited simultaneously. Lisa was weaponizing my grandkids with lies about my health, preparing them emotionally for my supposed imminent death. I reassured them gently. Grandpa's doing great.
Kids.
Doctors say I'm strong. But inside, rage built. Families shouldn't manipulate children this way.
I started documenting everything.
A small digital recorder captured conversations. Lisa's daily calls pressuring about finances. Her sudden interest in my options. I consulted elder law attorney Elena Vargas, recommended for her reputation in financial exploitation cases. This has HIPAA violations written all over it, she said bluntly. Impersonating proxy. Unauthorized inquiries. Emotional manipulation of grandkids could qualify as elder abuse. Arizona, wait. You're in Illinois now? One-party consent state for recordings if you're present. We outline strategy. Change beneficiaries quietly. Build evidence. Protect the grandkids via trust. Timing was critical. Move too soon. Suspicion rises. Too late. Lisa might file for guardianship first. The wedding ring theft was the final personal blow. Margaret's simple gold band with small diamonds. kept in a box on my dresser. Lisa had borrowed it weeks earlier to feel close to Mom for a special event. When I asked for it back, excuses piled up. Then I found the pawn receipt in her purse left on my counter, $2,800 cashed for a quick vacation. The shop confirmed it was sold. On my fixed income, recovering it was impossible. This wasn't borrowing, it was theft from a dead mother's memory for spending money. Meanwhile, Lisa's lifestyle screamed contradiction. New luxury SUV in her driveway, designer purses, private school fees for the kids she constantly complained about costing thousands monthly, European vacations posted on social media, five-star hotels, fine dining, shopping sprees, all while I clipped coupons for groceries and ate simple meals. Her spending spiked right after my diagnosis, coinciding with her questions about my assets. She was banking on money that wasn't hers yet, living beyond means on anticipated inheritance. Visits grew shorter. You seem tired.
Dad.
Maybe skip babysitting this weekend. Isolation tactics. When I tried picking up the kids, Lisa blocked the door. You're not reliable anymore.
Dr.
Patel warned me Lisa was questioning my cognitive capacity to doctors, pushing for guardian suggestions. The pressure escalated before holidays. Demands for full financial statements. Hints about the pension lump sum. What happens when you can't manage? Cancer might return. I smiled calmly outwardly, but planned inwardly. The public humiliation at the brunch was the spark. Back home that night, lists formed. Every manipulation, every lie, every expensive purchase screenshot. Attorney Vargas prepared documents. The trust for Emily and Jake would shield their future. No access for Lisa. The law would be precise. Legal. Devastating. Lisa's attempts to isolate me intensified. She showed up uninvited at doctor appointments, questioning nurses about my understanding of instructions, implying cognitive decline.
Dr.
Patel pulled me aside. She's asking if you're competent for decisions. How long you can live independently. She claims you might be in denial about your condition. I revoked any informal permissions and had notes added to my file. Even my doctor saw the agenda. Thanksgiving brought demands. Show me all accounts.
Dad.
You're not thinking straight. The irony choked me. She'd been spending lavishly while I scraped by. I recorded the conversation. Her pushing for power of attorney renewal and, well, updates. Make sure everything goes smoothly if something happens. Translation: when I die. The country club invitation from Mark's parents felt like a setup. Annual Father's Day event. I dressed respectfully, wanting to honor family for the grandkids' sake. But the gift disparity shattered the facade. After the socks incident, Grace, no. Emily, asked why my present was cheap. The room's pity and judgment confirmed Lisa's cruelty was public now. That night, I couldn't sleep. Lists expanded, HIPAA violations documented by Dr. Patel, unauthorized pension calls, ring theft receipt, recordings of pressure, and lies about my health to kids. Social media screenshots showed spending spikes post-diagnosis. Timeline proved greed. I met trust attorney recommended by Vargas. Grandparent-to-grandchild trusts are standard when parents show poor judgment. We built conditions, distributions for education, housing, starting families at certain ages. Lisa barred entirely. Mental competence evidence would counter challenges. Next, pension office visit. I changed beneficiary to the new trust. Mrs. Ramirez confirmed. Notification to Lisa within days. The $750,000 would bypass her completely. Then HHS office for HIPAA complaint. Forms detailed lies about proxy status. Attached doctor notes. Clerk noted potential $50,000 plus fines per violation for pattern. Adult Protective Services intake was sobering. Intake worker reviewed recordings, Receipt. Pattern of exploitation and emotional abuse via grandkids. This qualifies as felony elder abuse in Illinois. Restitution. Possible charges. Restraining order. Case opened. Finally, will revision with Vargas. Everything to trust. Lisa disinherited with no contest clause. Detailed reasoning referenced evidence. Ironclad against challenges. I researched senior communities in warmer climates. Found one in Florida, affordable on Social Security plus savings. Golf views. Activities. Far from Lisa. Application approved quickly. Packing was cathartic, kept memories. Firefighter mementos. Sold or donated the rest. I told Lisa only when truck was loaded. Panic in her voice. Dad. What about doctors? Support? Support? The same that stole and lied. Contact my attorney if needed. I drove away without looking back. In my new Florida condo. Life transformed. Morning walks. Community swims. Card games with genuine friends who knew me only as retired firefighter Bob sharing stories. No one knew the cancer battle or betrayal. Health markers improved dramatically. Stress had been the real poison. New doctor marveled at my recovery. Phone calls from Lisa started frantic. The pension letter says I'm removed. I confirmed calmly, protected grandkids from her. She raged about the unknown lump sum. Confrontations escalated. She showed up uninvited at the gated community. Lying to guards. We need to talk. Designer clothes disheveled. Car dented. In my living room. Nice place. Can't afford to help family? I countered. I can afford because I'm not funding your overextension. Revelation of trust hit hard. She crumpled, realizing zero inheritance. Recordings played back. Her clinical discussions of my death. Life insurance plus pension nearing $1 million. Positioning legally. I was protecting the family future, she claimed. You planned my funeral while I lived. Tears now genuine? How fix this? Some trust can't be restored. Timothy, Mark, texted about separation. Parents furious over watch extravagance exposing finances. Kids questioned her. HIPAA fines rolled in. $15,000 initial. $25,000 more for pattern. Totaling $75,000 with damages. Credit ruined. Elder abuse investigation sustained. Restitution $12,000 for ring plus distress. 2-year no-contact order without approval. Dream house threatened by overextended mortgage. Legal fees mounted. Mark filed separation seeking primary custody. Social media please ignored. Blocked everywhere. 6 months later. Court-ordered supervised visits began. Emily and Jake, now primarily with Mark, met me twice monthly at neutral spots. Initial confusion faded. They adapted, enjoying time free of manipulation. Emily asked about the ring once. I told truth gently, sold by their mother. But they'd inherit security, education, opportunities far more valuable. Jake confirmed I wasn't sick anymore. Getting away from unhappy people helped. Buddy, they're resilient kids. They'll learn love isn't transactional. Family isn't exploitation. Lisa lost house, marriage stability, reputation, access to inheritance. Her greed confused love with money, respect with control. I sit on my patio watching Florida sunsets over the golf course. Peaceful. Healthy.
Free.
Real family bonds can't carry price tags. Those who try lose both love and family. The recordings and letters wait for grandkids at 18. Explaining protection from mistakes. Some betrayals cost everything. But justice, when legal and measured, restores dignity. What would you do facing similar betrayal? The question lingers. But for me, protecting legacy brought quiet victory.